Alright, today we are playtesting the brand new 2025 Tecnifibre TFight 315, 305 and 300. I'm gonna be rallying and playing actual points with all three rackets, starting with the TFight 315. The specs are the same as the previous model, 98 square inches for the head size, 22.5mm beam width all around, and the same RS section that gives it a nice blend of power and control. I was very excited about this one because I really like the old 315 model, and right from the start, the 315 did not disappoint. Felt nice and solid from the ground, especially on the forehand and the backhand slice. I love how connected you feel with the ball when you make good contact, but when you're late, the 315 isn't really forgiving. And that's what I've experienced, especially on the backhand side. While it was really good for rallying, when we started playing points, I really started to feel the beefy weight of this racket and it became increasingly harder to swing. And it was just about as hard to serve with it. I think that this racket has a very niche market, and that if you are already playing with a similar racket with a 315 weight, static weight, you're really gonna like this one. But if you don't, I think that it's gonna take you some time to adjust to it and feel comfortable playing day in and day out with it, especially if you compete in matches and tournaments. So overall, I think that the 2025 TFight 315 is very similar to the older version and is made for very aggressive and powerful players who can generate plenty of powers on their own and are looking to finish up points at the net. On the other hand, while the 315 is designed for very specific players, I think the 305 and 300 on the other hand are accessible to a much wider audience. Day 2, and I am now playtesting the Tecnifibre TFight 305. Specs are also the same as the previous version, head size of 98 square inches, 22.5mm beam width with the RS section, but a little bit higher swing weight, at least for the one that I am testing, which was around 333. It has a string pattern of 18 by 19, and so more strings means more weight in the head, which means higher swing weight. Now, I am not used to playing with 18 by 19 patterns because it's too head heavy for me, but this one was actually pretty surprisingly easier to swing than the previous version. They possibly changed the distribution of the overall weight of the rackets away from the head and closer to the throat or even the handle. For an 18 by 19, I actually didn't have any problems playing with it. It was more maneuverable and provided a decent amount of power. This one really felt easier to play with than the Blade 98 18 by 20, for example. So definitely give this one a try because it's definitely more accessible to a wider audience. Now, the thing that doesn't really match my game with this racket is the low angle that dance string pattern provides. I hit a lot of short balls and my serve didn't get as much pop. My serve already doesn't have a ton of power, and this racket did not give me the extra help that I need. So overall, if you already play with an 18 by 19 or an 18 by 20 string pattern, I think that the TFight 305 could be a really nice upgrade to your game. One last thing that I wanted to mention for all three TFights is that they all seem to retain the same grip shape. I know that some people don't really like it as much. Tecnifibre has its own way of making grips. Personally, it doesn't really bother me at all, but in case you're wondering, I think it's the exact same grip as the previous version. And before I move on to the last racket, if you enjoy this very early review of the TFight 2025, I would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it really motivates me to keep making more tennis content for you guys. Alright, third session and I am playing with the TFight 300. I didn't play too long with it because my practice partner Matt actually plays with older versions of the TFight 300 and really wanted to get enough time to play with it. So I just let him play with it. So the specs again are the same as with the previous model, but what I can tell right away is that the TFight 300 is very easy to play with. It's not like I was playing my best tennis, but I was playing pretty well with it and right from the start. So I wouldn't be surprised that this model becomes the best seller of all TFights because it's a very versatile racket that suits not only all playstyles, but also for both intermediate and advanced players. Of course, I personally need a little bit more weight for my liking. Perhaps a little extra lead tape at 3 and 9 o'clock could help, but I'll do that in the future. I really wanted to make sure that I playtest the rackets as is and not customize them. So to conclude, if you are interested in trying the new TFights, I highly recommend the 300 first, and then possibly the 305 if you like denser string patterns. I would only recommend the 315 if you already play with a similar racket. So that is it for the playtest, and I will leave you with our on-court post-review reaction. Alright, so we played 3 times, 3 different times with those rackets, the Tecnifibre's 2025.
Right.
Matt played mostly with the 300 because that's his racket.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I love it. I love it. I love the model. The balance, it's amazing. I can feel maybe more power in this racket. Well, actually, my whole racket, this one, is like from 2019. So 5 years ago. The other one, 2018. So maybe you can play a bit in the power of the racket.
Oh,
but
okay.
Totally in love. Totally in love about the new model, the Tecnifibre 300 gram. I play a bit with the 305 also.
Yep.
I can feel maybe more control, a little bit less power, but after it's just a feeling. I don't know exactly for the 305, but the 300, totally in love. Okay. Amazing.
Yes. So are you saying that maybe because your racket's a little bit older, maybe after playing 3 or 4 years with it, it loses a little bit of that
the power, maybe
the power, okay. So maybe it becomes a little bit more flexible, and so it's okay.
Right, okay. Right. And maybe another thing I forgot to talk about is about the grip, the size.
The grip size, yes.
I was playing with like size 2, maybe size 3. This
size
one
2
is
for you.
Size 2, okay. So the new one is like size 4 plus a grip.
Right.
And now I feel it in my hand. I love it. Any single movement. I really have the feeling with this racket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So are you thinking of possibly buying that one?
Possibly. Sure, 100%.
100. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
100%. So I play with both the 305 and the 315. Can't play with the 315 for very long. Just too much. Too heavy. Feels great for just rallying in the middle. But once you start moving around and serving, 315 is just too much. Impossible to play an entire match with it. So that would be for the big boys. And the 305, 305 is a good weight for me. I really like it, but it's an 18 by 19 pattern, which is not common, and I'm not used to that. Ball is not really going up. It just stays very low, very controlled, and I need power. I don't really hit with too much power, so that one is not really for me. Talking about the paint job, I believe that they are very, very pretty, very good looking rackets. Sure, we're a little bit biased because we're French, so that's
actually it's almost the same color in the American flag,
It's true.
The blue, the red, the white. So
I was reading some review online, and a Dutch guy was saying, well, I'm Dutch, so I'll pretend those are the Dutch colors.
Yeah, you can also the thing.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for the review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reviewing this with me, Mr. Tecnifibre himself.
A really good referral, a really good ambassador.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.